So I want to talk to you about fear, okay? And I have a really cool hack of a way to change the relationship that you have with fear, and this will propel you into a completely different life. So there's hints of fear in almost all emotions. This is what I have found. And generally, our lives are being driven from a place of fear because we're unaware that we're actually fearful in that moment. So the first way to start to transmute this, or to help it become one of your tools rather than a debilitation, is to bring awareness to what fear feels like in your body. Okay? So when you are feeling fear, check and do a scan inside of your body and see where you are forming contraction, where there's tension. This is where you're feeling fear. For me, most times I feel it right in my chest cavity. I'll feel this tension or turning right here. And this is what allows me to know, I'm feeling fear right now. Okay. So step one is bringing your awareness to the sensations in the body that are fear. Okay. Now, what we need to do is then check in with ourselves very, very quickly if it is rational or irrational. Because the fear mechanism in our mind and our body is there to protect us. But most times, because it's our default setting and running on autopilot, we're not aware of our fear. Fear is driving our lives, and a lot of times the fear is completely irrational. There's nothing to be fearful of in the first place. Okay, so in that moment, tune in to where you feel fear in the body, so you know it's fear. Then quickly check in and say, is this rational or irrational? 95% of the time, it's irrational. Okay, in that moment that you decide it's irrational, the next move is to immediately go do that thing. And it sounds so scary, right? Like, oh, come on. But this is how you're going to reprogram and rewire these triggers inside of your subconscious mind. Okay? We want to create a new default setting where fear is not controlling us. Okay? So when you go and do that thing immediately, without letting your conscious mind get in control and try and protect you from something you don't need protection from, then what you will find, now listen closely to this, is that the reward on the other side of fear is 10 times greater than the amount of energy it took to be fearful in the first place. And this is how you retrain your mind. So when you go and do that thing and you end up making an amazing connection, that your social media post was well received, the new business venture is taking off, or the new relationship that you open yourself up to receive is going beautifully and bringing you a lot of joy. So this is what you need to start to show and train yourself, is that the reward on the other side is so much better than the amount of energy it took to be fearful in the first place. And the more you do this, the more it will become your default setting, where you're not living your life from a place of fear. You're jumping into potential opportunities. You're taking advantage of the fruits and the juiciness of life, the opportunities that are infinite that surround us in all waking moments. And eventually, this will just become your natural state, where you're flowing through life rather than being hung up, okay? So in this trick or this hack, what you're doing is transmuting the energy of fear. Because we're taught fear is this: hide, run, okay? But fear or emotion is just energy in motion. Therefore, it has a power, it has a frequency, a vibration. And when we can transmute it, then we can use it to propel us forward in the lives that we want, the lives that we truly want, okay? So let your fear become your drive, okay? When you feel fear, that's your drive, that you know, oh, I'm being held back right now. No, I'm not. Boom, and you go and do that thing. And then watch and see how the world didn't come to an end. Nothing came crashing down. And actually, you probably gained 10 times as much by doing that thing than you would have gained not doing it. So use this little trick and remember that the reward on the other side of fear is 10 times greater than the amount of energy it took to be fearful in the first place.